Coach Stu, does Wake Forest in any way resemble the type of rebounding challenge that you encountered at Oregon, against Oregon?
Yeah, I don't know who's a better rebounding team, but I know Wake's another good rebounding team. And as much as we focus on Wake, we're just as much focused on ourselves and some of our deficiencies, and you name it. I mean, and there are a few others that we've got to get better at, of course, to be competitive at the highest levels and within league play. And that's why you play these games, you know, to compete, give yourselves opportunities, but also to learn about yourselves. And we got pounded on the glass. We've got to be better tomorrow night for sure to have a chance.
What are you emphasizing there in terms of rebounding?
Physicality, where we are defensively, at times, the spot where we are, you know, we can make some adjustments there. And then the blockouts, that simply are we blocking out correctly, aggressively enough? Are we pursuing the ball with two hands? And then, you know, we had some opportunities where we had bigs on their bigs fighting, and we've got guards watching a little bit, you know. So we've got to have five guys in the fight in the paint to rebound down defensively and finish possessions.
You mentioned their bigs. How do you try to counter that when you're going up against a team that's got two bigs and you don't necessarily have the biggest squad in the world?
Yeah, we got to do it by committee. We've got to, again, we've got to gang rebound with all five guys that are out there, and we've got to be committed to doing it. We can't have a weak link out there. We got to have five guys that understand the importance of finishing possessions. And you can learn some of that through film, and you learn through wins. I like to think that you're a little more eager to learn through film after losses. You know, I like the response that we had yesterday. Guys got after it. We'll get after it again today.
What do you feel like you learned about the fight of this team, trailing by double digits,
yeah,
back to sit and goal, and then kind of the same thing in the second half there?
Yeah, the fact that our lack of connectivity on the glass, but especially offensively, with some errant shots and some lack of ball movement, those things were a little bit surprising to me. But the fight, to compete to the end was not surprising. It's who these guys are. I would have been really surprised if we didn't fight to the end. So these guys, they made it interesting there late. We would have liked to have made it a little bit more interesting, but credit Oregon, they're very good, and they'll be a team that wins a bunch of games this year.
In what way does Jabri, him being here 3 years, as far as being a guy who's kind of take some guys along, be a leader and that sort of thing, what kind of things do you see from him in that regard?
Consistency, maturity, playing with more poise and mental toughness than this time last year and even late winter. It's a process for all of these guys, and he's grown a lot, and he's had some hurdles, with several coaches, and throughout his career, and he's coming into his own a little bit, and he was probably as consistent as anyone that played for us the other night.
I don't know if Justin had mentioned, different lineups you play. Guys are still in a way kind of learning how to play with each other just a little bit. Is it something that's not necessarily a problem, but just maybe be a little difficult in some respects?
Well, it's a process. It's a good problem to have that we've got quality depth. At some point during the season, hopefully we're not using the word problem. We're using the word advantage.
Wrong choice of words on my part.
But it is the right word right now. Because we're trying to sift through these things, and our guys are learning how to play with one another when different guys are out there on the floor, and we're playing big and we're playing small, and you're playing freshman guards, you're playing veteran guards, and it's a process. Every team in the country is going through it, especially the teams that have got 9 new players, like we do. And Wake's got a bunch of new players too. So we're all trying to learn ourselves right now.
I wanted to ask you a couple of questions about Asa after the signing yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
How high a priority was he when you got here?
Very high. We were recruiting him at Florida. We've known his family for a long time. He's a wonderful kid, wonderful family. Obviously, a high-level talent. We expect to impact immediately in a big way, not only on the court, but who he is as a person. Credit Big Brother. Big J knew, as the lead recruiter, Jaden. He knows the ins and outs of our program, and Ace has kind of been an extension, of our family, since we got here, and really, really excited, of course.
What is his skill set, and how can he impact your program?
He's an elite defender and rebounder from day one with a big time motor. He's used to winning, high character, hard playing guy who's developing offensively. He's a guy that can play a couple positions up front. He can stretch the defense with a beautiful stroke, with a high release, a quick release. Can drive it, really good in the offensive glass. He's developing every day offensively. He's a hard worker, and he's got a chance to be a special player.
Man, when you've been after a recruit as long as you guys are, I know Coach Pastr maybe been longer than you as far as recruiting.
Yeah.
Asa. Does that make it extra sweet as a coach to know all that work you put in from day one, way back when, pays off like it?
Yeah, definitely. That we have a chance to continue to be in his life and help him with his development on and off the court. It's exciting that a player of his caliber with all the options that he had chose University of Georgia. Absolutely, for sure. It's a really exciting day.
What kind of atmosphere are you expecting Friday night? What kind of atmosphere do you want Friday night?
We need it to be electric, and I anticipate that. I do. There'll be a lot of dogs in Athens, tomorrow night for obvious reasons on Saturday. Big time football match up there. With a lot of fans that maybe aren't here normally, on a Friday night, in the winter. We expect a big crowd, and we've got to give our crowd something to be excited about. They got to help us a little bit. And we expect that. At the end of the day, I think it's going to be an awesome environment. We got to play well.
What's the word on Sonny as far as how long you think he's going to be out?
I just don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I wish I knew.
Not this game?
I would say doubtful. Yeah. Yep.
How'd you think that Jalen looked a little bit of time he played to look how he looked the other day when he played? Just from a physical standpoint, how he made it through and everything since the injury.
He tried really hard. He's a hard playing guy. Plays with a lot of emotion, of course. We got to clean up collectively. Some of the fouls, some of the mistakes,
Sure.
of course. But fought through, and a guy whose win probably isn't exactly where it was, before an injury, but got into a little foul trouble there.
Mm-hmm.
But, we've got to grow, and he'll grow, and he's a good player.